Alright, we're starting on Unit 2, Section 3. So this is Chapter 5, Section 1, Weathering. What is weathering? It is the physical and chemical breaking of rocks and minerals into smaller pieces. Mechanical and physical weathering is when you have a physical force that's breaking the rock down. It's not changing what the rock is made of, but it is breaking it into smaller pieces. So we have frost wedging, which is the expanding and the expansion of rock because of freezing water. So for example, if you see the picture in the corner, you can see that there's a wedge shape. That's from water that has been frozen in the crack of that rock, and then once the water thaws and goes away, you have that gap left behind. We have unloading, which is reducing the pressure on igneous rocks, which also will cause expansion. So you can see that here. It's uplifting the igneous rocks. And then you have exfoliation, which is where you have the slabs of the outer rock that you see in that picture that start to break off. So for example, here you can see how the rock is broken. There's also biological activity. So organisms, plants, animals, even us as humans, and how we interact or how we change rocks. So you can see here we have plants coming into effect. Animals can burrow in and make their homes into rocks and under rocks. Humans will remove rocks for building and for altering landscapes. Chemical weathering is the transformation of rock, so it becomes a new compound. So think about limestone will change. We have iron that will rust. So spheroidal, that's one type of chemical weathering. So it causes the corners and the edges of rocks to round off, as you can see in this image here. And as you can see here, they're rounded rocks. They're not really rectangular, squared up, and jagged together like normal rocks really are. The rate of weathering depends on two factors. Rock characteristics, so what it's made of, and the solubility of minerals in that rock. The physical features, so where it comes together, their joints. So for example, if you look at the bottom, you can have a 4x4 has less surface area than 4 or 8 2x2s. So for example, there's more surface area here than here, and there's a lot more surface area here than in either of the two before it. Climate is another factor, so temperature and moisture. So the higher the temperatures and the higher the amount of moisture in the air, the higher the amount of weathering. And you can see by these images, a lot of moisture, so a lot of rain, and we want really warm temperatures. Differential weathering, it's a variation in composition of the weathering. So it creates very unusual rock formations and different landforms. You can see that here. So today, make sure you go back and read 5.1 in the Earth Science book, 12.1 in the Environmental book. That's the frog book that's on your iPad. And you will need to make sure you take a little bit of notes on 12.1. We're going to do the weathering handout. We will start the soil project. And that's it for today.